Hey everyone, today I'm doing something a little bit different. This is both a box opening and a brief game overview of The Doom That Came to Atlantic City. Hey everyone, I wish I could do one of those sing-songy central US radio, old-timey. I just can't do it, guys. I wish I could do that like old-timey radio show voice, but I can't. But if you can, you should do it every time you see the name of this game, The Doom That Came to Atlantic City. All right, so I thought I would do something a little bit different. I'm gonna both do a game overview of the game as I'm doing a box opening. So visually you'll see me like opening stuff, but I'll be speaking a little bit more to what the components mean in the context of the game. I kind of go back and forth. Do I like being surprised and share my surprise as I open it? Or do you want a more informed, do you want this game? Do you like the components? That kind of thing. So we're gonna try to change a little bit more informative, and yeah, hopefully it's useful and or just interesting if you want to vicariously live through opening this game. So, boom. All right. So this game is a Cthulhu humorous parody kind of game of Monopoly. It's very RPG-like, whereas Monopoly, right, you go through, and if you've read the articles, you ruin people's day by buying all of the houses and not doing any hotels. So that's how you ruin people's day effectively in Monopoly. This is like Monopoly, but it's not. It's going to be a little bit more about destroying things, destroying your enemies. You are playing one of the great old ones. You know, we do a lot of Cthulhu War type videos here, so we do a lot of Cthulhu stuff. That's a little bit more serious of a game. This is going to be a little bit funnier, right? You can see that this is kind of like Fallout 1950s art style. And yeah, so the rule book, very white. I'm sure that's looking great on camera. But I think it's part of the clarity of like a family style game. There's lots of pictures. This is published by Cryptozoic. You guys know we like lots of Cryptozoic games. It was designed by not Cryptozoic designers. You can see it's Lee Moyer and Keith Baker. Keith Baker designed Eberron for D&D 3.5. I'm a huge Keith Baker fan, so seeing a game designed by him is cool. I think I might have another one out there, but is that right? Pretty sure it is. And yeah, rules, big font. So there is 17 pages to the game. But it is a big font. There are some pictures. It's not really going to be overly complicated, I don't think. You can see there is a quick play guide. Again, it's so ridiculously shiny white. I don't know that you can see any of it, but yeah, quick play guide. It's half a page, and that's because you just kind of do what the game says. All right. All right, they've got, again, when you play, you choose, or randomly, whatever you want, you choose one of the Lovecraftian horrors. So they've got Nyarlathotep, Shub-Niggurath, Tsathoggua, Azathoth, Cthulhu, Hastur, and Ithaquah. I find it's interesting that they have Tsathoggua, wherever he's hiding under the ground, Because Thogwa is not a Lovecraftian horror, but I don't think Hester is either. You know, Lovecraft just mentioned those. Oh, and Yog-Sothoth. Great. Okay. Because it's a little bit RPG-ish, there's things like you have these upgrade spots. Depending on which one you start with, you automatically begin with a trait, and you go through the deck and pull out that card, but you can replace it over time if you don't like it. But you do start with like a default card so that your monster feels like that monster. Though as you upgrade it, you're gonna get a lot of other different traits that aren't necessarily matched up as well. All right, you can win the game by building 6 gates, and you can also win the game by a secret objective. I'll get to that in a moment. Here's the game board. Very colorful. There's not really any one way that's gonna line up, right? Because they're sideways, but at any rate, so you can see it's pass the me go, not pass go. Instead of getting money, you get cultists, and you get either a Providence card or a chance card. So again, this is sort of a parody game. You've got to go into this thinking you're gonna be goofy, you're gonna have fun. Chance instead of C-H-A-N-T-S instead of C-H-A-N-C-E. Yeah. Had to think about it there for a moment. And then Providence. So, because it's New England, right? Okay, you've got the different, I don't know what these are going to be called, boroughs or neighborhoods, I guess neighborhoods, maybe. You can see there's different things: sacrifice a cultist, sacrifice a building. The currency in this game is the cultists that you acquire and or the buildings you destroy. So that's cool. Got some excellent, very intricate little miniatures. I feel like Peterson Games really established that if you're gonna do Cthulhu miniatures, you need to make them very, very pretty. And I think these qualify. These are very nice. They're big compared to a little hat or a little car, but boom, the whole squad is back together. All right. We've got Cultist Meeples, and you guys know I love custom meeples, so these are Cultist Meeples. Again, you want to hold on. You can spend them as currency. You want to have a minimum amount of cultists at all times, because sometimes you get banished and you need cultists to basically help bring you back. You got houses. There's no equivalent to hotels except maybe gates. I guess gates are the closest analog to hotels in this game. You've got these little serpent things for not much reason. They do help you track how many gates and how many doubles you've rolled. That's sort of a thing with this game. If you roll doubles, then I'm pretty sure you get to go again, just like normal Monopoly rules. But if you roll doubles 3 times, the 3rd time you're actually banished. So you can be banished a couple different ways, but that's one of the ways. And when you get banished, you get put, I guess here or wherever, and you have to roll dice each turn, and your dice plus your cultists, I think, has to be 7 or higher, and then you get back out so you can go places again. Which means if you spent all of your cultists doing stuff and then accidentally roll doubles 3 times, you could be out of the game for 3 or 4 turns, really. Just on average, probably like 4 turns, unless you have enough cultists to help. You've got custom dice. The 1 is the screaming blonde from the cover, so that's cool. Custom dice. At the very least, is custom dice are kind of a quality thing, like, right? It shows that they spent some money to make the game. And then you guys watch me for several minutes while I try to tear the cellophane on this adamantium plastic that they've chosen to coat or to protect the cards with. Kind of kidding. All right. So these are the chance. These are the Providence cards. So the King in yellow. Whenever you draw Providence or Chance, draw 1 additional card of the same type, then discard 1. That is classic yellow. Like every game, no matter the publisher, gives King in yellow and or Hastur control over probability. I don't know why, but that's what they do. So that's cool. Again, these are traits. These are like D&D type traits that you're going to add to your character. And now for some portion of the game, you're going to have this additional ability. Veil of Foulness. Have you seen the yellow sign? It means yield. It's a little humor thrown throughout the game. I think it's funny. The Veil of Foulness gives you +2 defense and +1 destruction, right? So you roll dice to destroy houses. When you first start the game, there's houses all over the board. It's kind of the opposite of Monopoly. And when you land there, you destroy the buildings instead of building the buildings. Right, so you're gonna have a bunch of houses in various places, and you show up and you're a big monster, so you destroy houses. And then you get to keep the houses and you can spend them on stuff. Well, the Veil of Foulness, for example, gives you +1 destruction on your die roll to try to destroy the house. It also gives you +2 defense because if somebody else lands in the same neighborhood as you, they can try to attack you and take your stuff. So, family games typically are not terribly offensive to the other player. Like, you don't get to choose to directly attack someone. Instead, you get to screw them in sort of a passive-aggressive way, right? Sorry, Monopoly. You're not targeting them. You're just really screwing them. Well, in this game, you're literally gonna be like rolling dice and trying to defeat them. And if you have the right traits, like the Veil of Foulness, +2 defense from being attacked, I guess. I don't get the joke. Foul, yes, but still a strike. Foul, strike. Bowling. I don't know. I don't get the bowling pun here, maybe? Somebody tell me. What is Veil of Foulness? What does it have to do with a strike? It might not be bowling. Yeah, okay. The really deep ones. Not normal deep ones. Really deep ones. So he's got a little fez hat because he's like a philosopher deep one. Really deep. Twice per combat, you may sacrifice 1 cultist to add 2 to your attack roll. Did you ever look at your claw, man? I mean, like, really look at it. I feel like this is not the really deep ones. I feel like this is the really high deep ones. But okay, so that is some examples of the Providence cards. And boom, deck. They spent all the adamantium plastic on the little cards, so big card, super easy. All right, we've got some reference cards. Man, you guys know I love reference cards. Give me something to give to the players so that while they're not listening to me as I explain the rules of the game, they can at least have something that I can say, hey, it's on the card. I'm not explaining it again. All right, there are gates. So you win the game when you have 6 gates. Getting gates gives you special abilities. I hope these different monsters are balanced, because they're definitely not even. Oh, no. These gates, sorry guys, these gates are to the neighborhood. So that is really cool. Gates to Carcosa give you different powers than gates to Salino or Kadath or Lang or Nakai, Relay, Shagai, Yugoth. So that is super cool. Again, you win with 6 gates. Alternatively, you can use your optional Doom card. So when you start the game, you're going to get a Doom card. And so, for example, you might have the Conquest of Unknown Kadath. Preconditions: 4 gates, including 1 gate to Nakai or 1 gate to Kadath. You sacrifice 2 cultists and 2 houses, attack and defeat any player you choose. So when you try to do the Conquest of Unknown Kadath, you're going to spend 2 cultists, 2 houses, and if you fail to defeat the player, well, those guys are gone. And now everybody knows what you're doing. Copy Cataclysm. Copy any other Doom currently in play. I thought these are secret Dooms, but apparently they're probably not secret. Cosmic Wipeout, The Deluge, End of the Line, The Fright Club, Last Chance, Necropoly, The Penultimate Gate, Sudden Death, Sunder the Veil, The Ultimate Sacrifice. So you've got some preconditions, and ultimately most of them still don't let you totally skip out of controlling gates, but you have a certain number of gates, and instead of going for 6 gates, you can go for something special. You also can pick up these tomes as you play the game. Tomes are special abilities. They're like feats or whatever. So double the gate toll of all gates you control. Green counts as a gate to relay for purposes of gate powers. Yeah, so you can get tomes as you play the game. When you control a gate, you put a card for your faction. So this is Nyarlathotep, for example. This is Yog-Sothoth, Windwalker Ithaca. I think it's Ithaca. But yeah, so on. So cool custom cards. They look good. You want the board to reflect your color, not somebody else's. Just putting your bling out there. And then here are the chance cards. Very, very similar to the Providence cards, of course. You've got some events. You've got some special things. You can give these cards to manipulate your dice rolls, plus or minus. It is a very dice-heavy game, right? All the old games really were more about dice and more about chance. But like a lot of new modern games, you can manipulate your dice rolls just a little bit by accumulating these cards and then spending the cards instead of doing dice stuff. Instead, spending them to manipulate your dice result, plus or minus. Can't do that too many times because you're just simply not going to get that many cards. But overall, if you kind of want a relaxed time, you want something faster than Monopoly, this is going to be not an 8-hour game. Though again, you can screw people in Monopoly. Look it up. Doesn't have to be an 8-hour game. But at any rate, so you're Cthulhu or a big monster, you're wandering around, you're destroying buildings, you're summoning gates, you're acquiring more cultists, you're consuming the cultists, you're getting rare tomes that give you special abilities, and you're trying to bring the doom to Atlantic City. So this is very theme heavy. You guys know I like theme games. This is the kind of game that if I was playing with a bunch of people who didn't want something too serious, but I still wanted to play Cthulhu Lovecraftian monsters, this is the game I'm going to pull out. I was very excited to get it. I was very happy I didn't get in on the Kickstarter. Really cool. Cryptozoic, I'm pretty sure, made everybody right as far as the people. Like, there's Kickstarter drama here, guys, so I'm not going to go into that. But at any rate, Cryptozoic, you guys are awesome. Love you guys. Keith Baker, love your stuff. And yeah, now that I have the game, I'm looking forward to playing it. If you guys have the game, do you like it? If you don't, I'm gonna post a link down below. I'm gonna start doing Amazon links because, hey, if you want it, one click, internet, boom, and it helps us, pay for all this stuff. So yeah, it's gonna be a win-win. Makes sense. We should have been doing it a long time ago. And with that, click like, click subscribe, and bye, guys.